Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, 7 after 8 o'clock. Welcome back. This is News and Views with me, Julie Ali. Now, former Umkhonto Wesizwe Military Veterans Association spokesperson Carl Niehaus has been sent out into the cold after the ANC's National Disciplinary Committee expelled him from the party, obviously citing that he's been found guilty of 6 charges of misconduct. Carl Niehaus, very good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
How do you feel about this issue around being expelled from the party? Do you think that it was very short-sighted on the part of the ANC? And how do you respond to them by way of this radio interview?
Of course, this is a serious issue, and of course I must take it seriously because you have to understand it is a painful thing to have been a member of the African National Congress for 43 years and then to face an attempted expulsion from the ANC. But that expulsion is not going to succeed because the charges that have been brought against me are really trumped up. And they've also been going on for over a year. While the ANC's constitution states very clearly that any charge must be concluded within a period of 6 months, and if it takes longer than 6 months, that charge lapses. So even just on that technical basis, these charges cannot hold water. On top of that, we've got a National Disciplinary Committee that has been irregularly constituted. The people who sat in deciding were not members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC. Members of the National Disciplinary Committee should be members of the National Executive of the ANC. So under the circumstances, there are serious reasons why these charges that deal has already been served on the National Disciplinary Committee of the ANC, and in terms of the rules, as soon as you have appealed, any expulsion is suspended in itself, and therefore I continue now to be a full member of the African National Congress.
Okay, so you say this has been going on for the past year. Obviously, you were aware that this was happening behind the scenes, so to speak. Did you at any stage think that it has kind of died a quiet death and gone away? Were you kind of comfortable that you are still a member of the ANC, or did this come as a total surprise to you?
Well, the letter that was issued came as a surprise to me because it was never sent to me. The National Disciplinary Committee very rudely decided just to release it to the media and on social media. I am implicated. This is a decision that they have taken trying to expel me from the ANC. But I was called by other journalists and fellow comrades telling me that on social media, their letter is making the rounds that I've been expelled. Now, that's illegal to handle an important and sensitive matter such as this in this way. I can also tell you that there have been numerous National Disciplinary Committee hearings, one after the other, always with poor administration, with witnesses that were not pitching. Mr. Fikile Mbalula was supposed to be a witness in this case, trying to state that the NEC position of the ANC is that one cannot say that the judiciary is captured. He didn't appear for many times as witness. When he was asked to make a written statement, he failed to sign that statement. So ultimately, I was found guilty on no evidence being presented, just an allegation, and that is extraordinary. It is truly a kangaroo court.
So what do you do now, Carl? Have you decided to reach out to the ANC, very especially to the NDC, and the one person that has been quoted in some of the media releases, obviously, is suggesting that, the charges are in connection with comments you made in July last year outside former President Zuma's residence in Nkandla, where you protested against Zuma's incarceration for being in contempt of the Constitutional Court. So, in a letter dated the 12th of December, a few days, 2-3 days ago, Chairperson Ralph Ngijima cited that your disparaging remarks against the judiciary is what has led him, to lay these charges, or what has led to you being charged by the party.
Look, it is correct that the charges had been brought because of statements that I made not on behalf of myself, but on behalf of Umkhonto we Sizwe Military Veterans Association in front of the residence of President Jacob Zuma, where we criticized the Constitutional Court decision to imprison President Zuma, and where we said that there are serious signs that our judiciary is captured. Those were resolutions taken by the National Executive Committee of MKMDA, and I carried out that press conference and conveyed that message as the national spokesperson of MKMDA. So it was not my individual opinion. It was a resolution of the NEC of MKMDA, and that's why MKMDA has also been saying last night, it is not just me, Carl Niehaus, as an individual who is being persecuted here, but the whole of the body of Umkhonto we Sizwe Military Veterans Association is being persecuted and are under attack. And as I've indicated to you, these charges do not reflect any decision that had been taken in the NEC of the ANC. There's no formal decision that you cannot say that the judiciary is captured. In fact, the former Secretary General, now the chairperson of the ANC, Comrade Gwede Mantashe, had said in 2015 and 2017 that he believed the judiciary was captured. The same had been said about a year ago by Comrade Lindiwe Sisulu. Even Fikile Mbalula had made disparaging remarks about the judiciary. And you remember that terrible comment that he made that the Commission of Inquiry into state capture had been a place where everyone comes to urinate. Now, those are much stronger statements than anything I've said. And yet, they decided to target me. They decided to now try to expel me, while none of these other senior members of the ANC who have made much stronger statements about the judiciary have been any action taken against them. So that's selective justice. That's unfair. And you know that selective justice is injustice in principle.
You also go on to say, and I'm wondering if you're feeling personally targeted by certain factions because they want you out of the system for whatever reason. That's question number one. And then you go on to say that the law is being used selectively as an instrument to fight political and factional battles. Expand on that for us more, please.
Look, the fact of the matter is that I, as a senior member of the ANC, have been targeted. And as I've explained to you, there are many other members of the ANC who have said similar things and have not been targeted. I'm convinced that part of the reason why I've been targeted is because I've been so clear and uncompromising in my criticism of President Cyril Ramaphosa. And during the National Disciplinary Committee proceedings, there was at one point a time when the members of the NDC were talking amongst themselves. They thought that myself and Dr. Khoza were not on the Zoom platform, and they were saying to each other, well, you know, we better move on this matter because the president wants it to be concluded before the conference. He doesn't want Comrade Carl at the national conference. So that's the background. They acted under instruction. They had a pre-made up mind. They have already decided what they were going to do because they were given instructions, and they carried out those instructions.
So does that mean you can't attend the conference at this point in time, the elective conference? How does that make you feel? Or are you still going to attend regardless? Or do you think you'll be barred
Look,
from it? Do you think you'll be barred from attending?
Look, as I explained to you, I have appealed to this expulsion, and
Mm.
legally, once you've appealed a sentence, that sentence is suspended until it is adjudicated on. So I am a full member of the ANC. I'm entitled to go to the national conference. I will certainly make an effort to go there. Whether these rogue ANC members who are behaving in this factional way will allow me or physically prevent me from attending, that's up to them. I will simply execute my rights as a member of the ANC, as a delegate from a branch to go to the conference, and I will certainly act in accordance with that situation.
Okay, now the NDC has found, well, this is what they're saying, that you, Carl Niehaus, has not demonstrated any remorse and persisted in your view that the ANC was violating its constitution and your rights by disciplining you. How do you respond to that? And then back to your appeal. Do you hold out any hope that it will be fair, it will be heard in a fair and just manner, and that you will once again, be back on board as a full ANC member?
How can I have remorse for not having done anything wrong? I can't have remorse for that.
Mm-hmm.
The National Disciplinary Committee of the ANC subjected me to a kangaroo court. They are the ones who should have remorse. They are the ones who owe me an apology. I have dedicated my life to the African National Congress for 43 years. And I have made many sacrifices. I sacrificed my youth. I went into prison. I was severely tortured during the time that I was arrested for my membership of the African National Congress. So I've got absolutely nothing to apologize for. And I maintain still, as I've done before, that there is a serious problem with our judiciary having been captured. There is a serious factional problem within the ANC, that Cyril Ramaphosa and his faction are behaving in a triumphalist manner, and that they are in fact persecuting anyone who is opposing them and who is expressing criticism. Now, I'm not a coward. I'm not someone to be cowed and pushed out of the way, and I'm definitely someone who is not going to be scared by these actions of the ANC National Disciplinary Committee. Whether I believe I will get a fair hearing, I doubt if I will get a fair hearing on the basis of the evidence that I've just presented to you. The NDC is biased. It has already made up its mind. It predetermined the sentence. So one can expect for them to continue to conduct themselves in the same way. But remember, there's a national conference. That national conference is going to have an election of a new leadership. I have called on the members of the ANC who are delegates at that conference to do the right thing, to vote out Cyril Ramaphosa and vote out those accolades that are surrounding him and that are destroying the ANC. If that happens, and of course I hope that it will happen, and I'm doing everything in my means to make sure that it happens, then by the end of this conference on the 20th of December, things will be very different. And then surely I can be assured of a different hearing, a different approach, and these members, these rogue members of the National Disciplinary Committee may find themselves in a situation that they are actually the ones that will be removed from that committee, and that their continuing participation in the National Disciplinary Committee of the ANC will no longer be required.
My final question to you then. Let's assume that Cyril Ramaphosa is re-elected and all of these rogue elements, as you refer to them, are still in power. How's that going to impact on your current situation, and how are you, Carl Niehaus, going to move forward? Will you still have a keen interest and a place in politics?
I certainly will have a place in politics. My commitment to South Africa and to the full liberation of our people is not simply defined by the African National Congress. I definitely will fear for the future of the ANC if Cyril Ramaphosa and his mafia gang comes back. I believe that will be the end of the ANC. It will destroy the African National Congress. I've said so several times. And I've also said that I will most definitely not continue to accept Ramaphosa as my president, and it will not be possible to continue with the ANC if the ANC is being led by Ramaphosa and, as I've called them, the mafia gang that surrounds it.
Carl Niehaus, we will watch this situation and obviously the elective conference very, very closely, because it is going to impact on lots and lots of other outcomes as well, apart from your issue. So we will be watching it closely. Thank you indeed for your time and your thoughts this morning on your reaction to being expelled from the ANC. That was Carl Niehaus.
Thank you for giving me that opportunity. I appreciate it.
My pleasure entirely. You go well.
Thank you. Goodbye.
8:23 a.m. exactly. That was former Umkhonto Wesizwe Military Veterans Association spokesperson Carl Niehaus talking about the being expelled from the ANC. Had some very strong thoughts there. And of course, like I've said, we're going to watch that situation rather closely. It is 8:23 a.m. exactly. In a short while, we will be joined by Advocate Miriam Mangera regarding the GBV Action Coalition.